Hello and welcome back to the Transform You podcast with me, Paula.
And me, Neilia.
Sorry, we're having a wee laugh just now because, as you can see if you're watching, we're in a new setup.
We are.
And it just feels a bit...
It's like a little studio.
Yeah, it feels very formal.
I know. We're laughing because we're not used to sitting in
so
chairs.
Stiff. We were just having to
hello.
breathe and relax, man.
It feels like we're starting from episode 1.
Yeah, it does.
Season 1 all over again, and then we were pure overthinking everything. Just bear with us.
It's a lot. It's a lot. But very cute if you're watching. Nice. I think we're giving radio presenters. Oh, aye. Here for it. Love it. So the reason being, though, is that if you've listened to episode 1 and episode 2, you'll know that this season is all about getting some guests in, getting to speak to people. And we just thought the best way to celebrate that is we interview each other.
I know.
Practice those interview skills.
But I'm actually a bit nervous. Now that I'm sat here, I'm nervous.
So Neilia's in the hot seat first. How are you feeling?
Nervous. What's she going to ask me?
And this is the thing. We've prepared questions for each other, but we've not told each other.
I know. But this is good because this is what our guests will feel like.
Yeah, exactly.
So actually we need to do this because I imagine our guests will probably feel a bit nervous too.
Yeah, of course.
So we need to go through the process.
Very much like yoga. We obviously teach. It's putting yourself as a student again, going into a new class.
It's good to go to classes. So
yeah,
it reminds us of what it's like.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
A nice place for us to be right now. We've got the perfect wee setup. It's just, you know what, we're still in the same place. It's still chill. We're just no lounging about
just
the sofa.
Just a couple of meters away.
Yeah, it's all good. We've got this.
Oh, it just feels a bit more professional.
It does, aye. But we need to manifest the job that we want.
Oh, aye.
See that. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, interview with Neilia. So, getting started with something a wee bit deep.
Gosh, we're going straight into it, girls.
Because that is our theme. We like to go, we like to get into it. Wee bit of inspo for others. So can you share with us a pivotal moment in your life that changed your perspective on your own health and your own well-being?
Oof. I think actually there's a couple, but maybe if I go back to after my second hip surgery, I'll give you a couple because I feel like I can't actually pick one.
Yeah. And can you also share why you had to go through the hip surgery?
So it's called a labral tear. And I actually can't remember what the other thing was called, but basically my hip joints, the hip ball and socket joint was just bone on bone. Yeah, not fun.
No fluid left to take any of the shock absorption.
Because then there was no blood flow. It's actually really gross, sorry guys. But there was all the tissue was dying. So it really was not good. And
that would have come from rowing for a long time?
Yeah, it did come from rowing. And then later on, when I got diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis and all of those things and got investigated for all of that, they then said that was probably the start of that.
Yeah.
But obviously my surgeon at the time didn't know that. So I had to go and get surgery and it was all keyhole and it was fine. And I had already had the same surgery the year before. Obviously wasn't fully successful.
Right.
So I went in, had the surgery, and it was supposed to be quite simple. I woke up and I've never been in so much pain in my life. My surgeon really thought it was perfect, great surgery, great, 100%. She's going to wake up. She'll be fine. She'll be out in a couple of days. She'll be walking in a couple of days. Cool. Because I had to go down to Oxford to get the surgery. Yeah. So it's she'll be home in Scotland, a few days' time. Everything's fine. Woke up, was screaming in pain.
Wow.
And kept passing out because I was in so much pain. And they were like, do you know in movies where it's they always press the button and there's everyone rushing in? Yep. That was happening. You know what? I was subconsciously thinking, what the fuck is happening to me?
Yeah.
How is this my life? Yeah.
Yeah.
But also I didn't know, I was just in so much pain I couldn't think of anything else. But then I was also looking at it was I was looking at myself. Yep. In the hospital bed and watching all these people rush around me. It was really weird. Really traumatic. So that happened and then I ended up being in hospital for a couple of weeks, and during that time they were just trying to get, because I couldn't feel my leg. They had nerve damage and it was no one's fault. It just one of those 1 in 1,000 fluke things.
Sort of the things they tell you could potentially happen and you just always think it'll be fine. Yeah.
And it like that, it just, these things happening is what it is. And I had to stay in hospital to try and get on top of things and for them to figure out what was going on. And to try and, because obviously I couldn't walk straight away because I couldn't feel the leg. And I'm still now, I can't feel the whole left side of my left leg.
So there's permanent nerve damage there.
But during that period in hospital, there was one day where the nurses, doctors, everyone was just like, it was chaotic in the ward. And essentially they just overdosed me on opiates, which again, it's no one's fault. It just, these things happen and mistakes happen. Like you can, and I think that's like where yoga comes in, that I never hold resentment, or I'm never going to hold that against anyone. Like
you don't
a lot of people say to me like, well, why wouldn't you complain? And I was like, because these things happen.
You'll only upset yourself hunting for someone to blame or going into that mentality of, why me? Why did this happen? Who done this? Who's responsible? It's quite inspiring because Mo Gauda tells a similar story, obviously a lot more extreme, and it's about his son who passed away. If you've never listened to Mo Gauda, 100% is the best human. I just love him. I love him. If I could sit and have a coffee with someone, that's who it'd be. Anyway, he's
like dream guest for the podcast.
Hi Mo, we're
going to manifest.
But similar, his son obviously passed away during their surgery, was supposed to be something minor, and that was his whole mindset, like, who am I going to blame? I can blame myself for taking him there, I can blame the surgeons, but it's not going to change the outcome.
It's not going to bring him back.
So like you say, it's good that you've got that mindset that you developed even from yoga. Like a lot of the philosophies are about that. Like it is what it is. You can't control it.
Because I remember lying there, like, because I was overdosed on all the meds.
Yeah.
I basically was put into a coma. It wasn't managed. I was just going out. I was going out, and my surgeon and his right hand man surgeon would come every single day to check on me. He was genuinely the best surgeon ever, like best doctor ever. He would come every single day to check on me, and he came in, and it was a 1 hour the whole time that my mum wasn't there that this happened, because mum was sat by my bedside the whole time. And I remember being like, I could see myself and I was conscious in my brain, but I couldn't move my body. And I remember them...
State of paralysis?
Yeah, fully. And my doctor's just freaking out. And again, it was like, press the button, everyone come in. And they were like doing that thing where they press your breastbone to try and, like, really painful to try and wake you up. And then the other doctor was hitting me to try and wake me up. And I was like, in my head, I was going, that's fucking sore. What are you doing?
But you couldn't do anything.
I genuinely couldn't do anything. And like, I will never forget that one of them was like, I think she's going. And I was like, I'm not fucking here.
Stop being so dramatic. I'm here.
Like, and it was fine. Within like half an hour I was back and it was fine. They like obviously gave me stuff and everything was fine. Mum came back, all good. Like genuinely everything was fine. And then I think it was like 5 days later I got out and it was fine. But that for me was like, oh shit. Like that was a full turning point, because that was when all my other health conditions started popping up. Yeah. I'm never going to go back to rowing. That's just not going to happen. It took me a while to really accept that, but never going back to that old life. That's been and gone. I was also seeing someone at the time, and he dumped me a few weeks later. So it was just like a lot of like chapters were closing. And I think that those few weeks in hospital and that moment was me being like, it was almost like I was like having to, that person was not dying, but that person was just like
leaving. Yeah, that spirit was sort of like leaving the body, and you were being reborn essentially.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a pivotal moment. Like very, like I've never been in that sort of situation. So for me, it's hard to put into words. I think anybody listening to this will know the thought of going for a surgery to most people is fucking terrifying. But then having that traumatic recovery is just even more. But for you, obviously, then that was a pivotal point in your life, a turning point in your life. The new you was born.
Yeah, so people find it crazy when I'm like, no, I'm really grateful for it.
Yeah.
And also, like, it was bad, but it could have been so much worse. Yeah. And other people, and I always say that other people have had it so much worse. Yeah. I'm really grateful for the life I have. I'm grateful to have had the surgery. Like, everything has worked out.
Yeah.
But I am so grateful for it. Right? People think I'm fucking mental.
Because maybe you wouldn't be the person you are today without that experience. So.
No, I wouldn't.
Because your personality would have changed, because you used to be competitive. You would have been striving to be an athlete. And I suppose it's hard to have to let that side of you go to then tap
but, like,
into
that competitiveness is gone. Like I'm just not.
Not at all.
Like,
now
we
you're
talk
like
about it all the
soft
time how we're not
how funny is
competitive.
that?
I think that really just left me.
And it's like, was that ever really you though?
But probably not.
But
like,
you
genuinely
just,
probably not.
You just had to be that person for so many years just because of your school experiences, your uni experiences. Yes, that's a good one. Thank you for sharing that story, because I think for anyone going through something like that at the moment, whether it's a health condition, maybe they're having symptoms and they feel like they're not getting anywhere, or maybe they have something had something traumatic happen, it's knowing that actually it can be a point in your life that you end up extremely grateful for.
And it is really tough. Like I'm now at a point where I do know, like, I've been diagnosed with things and I'm getting treatment for all of it and it's all managed. But I've been there where you're going to all these appointments and waiting to get diagnosed, and it's exhausting.
Yeah.
It's like a full-time job. And when you're just getting passed from doctor to doctor, and then they're like, oh, you might need surgery, you might know, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I just want someone to tell me what's wrong with me because I'm having all these symptoms.
Yeah.
Can someone just help me?
And then you must
like,
be...
It is exhausting.
It must be the mental battles, because you must question, am I going nuts? Is there something actually going on 100%. Here? You'll get people who try and convince you it's all in your head.
I had a couple of doctors that told me it was all in my head. And
that's a common
really
thing.
Not.
Yeah,
especially if you're a woman.
Definitely. It's not spoken about enough. Actually, I had Chloe in the gym this morning and she's studying medicine. She spoke about this, like, when you're a woman, there's just not enough research done into anything, and you know your body better than anyone else, and you know yourself better than anyone. So if anyone is going through anything, like, speak up for yourself. Never stop advocating for yourself, especially if you feel like people aren't listening, or you will find someone
that will listen.
Yeah, of course.
I did have to go to Thailand to find someone that listened.
Yeah, well, similar,
but it was incredible. I've been diagnosed with everything and my life has changed because of it. And
actually, I wonder if that part of the world is better, because Sinead Hegarty, she speaks about this in her podcast about having adenomyosis and endometriosis. She could not get a diagnosis here, which is a really common thing. So many girls are waiting for diagnosis for things like this. And she didn't get the diagnosis till she was in Bali. They found both.
It's mental. Yeah. It's like, I have been to, gonna say, like, 4 rheumatologists here, like in Scotland and in England, and they kept saying I do not have anything that's wrong with me. I went to Thailand, saw a rheumatologist, and I had to do a lot of tests because everything was coming back fine. And as soon as I had the world's worst MRI scan in the world, it was like 8 hours of hell. He came back and he was like, you have arthritis in every single joint in your body. Like, how has no one picked this up?
Oh,
so do you know what I mean? God. It's like, I knew, but that also was a pivotal moment, because it was like, all these times that people have told me it's all in your head, just practice mindfulness.
Which but love medically something always
wrong. Practice mindfulness, and I did it. I listened to them and I went off and did it. Of course, like 100%. I always do what they tell me to do, because I'm like, fucking desperate. But like, it didn't. It was not in my head.
It's not
like,
going to
finally get told that, you're like, oh my God, I'm not crazy. I'm like actually not crazy.
Fucking apple cider vinegar shit. Like, you can just, it'll be magic. Like, you know, just do this and it'll cure everything. Like, please don't listen to health professionals as much as we are wellness gals and we do believe, you know, you can change balance. Things.
Like, of course.
But there's
yoga's changed my life. Like, lots of these things have changed my life. I love getting acupuncture, cupping, all of that. However, 100%. If I just only did that, I would be a broken woman.
Yes. It would not need the medical help.
I need the medical help. It's all about balance.
The same with everything as well. Even like, we speak about mindset a lot. There is only so much that you can do working in your own mindset. If you have an actual chemical imbalance medically, sometimes you do need something else.
Yes.
And it's just 100%. To remember that if you know yourself better than anyone, and just always remember that. Like, don't let people gaslight you into thinking that you're crazy or that's a really good thing to share.
I take antidepressants, and I'm a yoga teacher, you know, wellness girly, yoga teacher, here to support people all the time. But I'll always tell people that I take them, because it's like, I need it. Do you know what I mean? Of course. About it. That no one take it. It's bad for you.
Yeah.
It's not. People, like, some people just need the extra. Yeah, of course. Extra help, because it is chemical imbalance.
Yeah. So there you go. Thank you for sharing that, because I think that is really good advice for people as well. And a wee bit of inspo. And it moves on to my second question quite nicely. And I know you've just discussed there quite a lot about traumatic incidents and stress and things like that in your life. So how do you cultivate resilience in the face of that adversity and when you're feeling that stressed? Where does that resilience come from?
Oof, we love resilience. Yes. If you've not read The Resilience Project, do it now.
Get it right in the Amazon basket. It will change your life.
It's one that you can literally read in a day or listen to in a day.
Stunning.
Isn't it? Because I think you did that. I think you listened to the audiobook in a day when I was like, oh, read it, Paula.
Obsessed.
So good.
When the weather's nice like this, if you have a wee day to yourself, get it in audio, because it's the guy who actually writes the book, who narrates it. And it's just lovely.
Wee Australian voice.
Stunning.
So nice.
Oh, what a guy.
I actually love it when it's like a really calming voice.
Oh, yeah. He just it just seems like a really nice guy. So there you go. That's a wee task.
Yeah.
Get out in that sun and listen to that book. You'll be out for about 5-6 hours, but it'll be worth it.
Get out in the sun, get a wee tan.
Once you start, you just
stunning.
Like, oh, great.
Get a wee tan. Cultivate resilience.
That obviously, you must have got a lot of inspo from that book.
Yeah, big time. I think just the way resilience for me before I started my healing journey was a bit, not a trigger word, but when I was training with rowing and athletes and stuff, resilience was used as quite a key word with training. And it was like, you need to build resilience in terms of like your body needs to be resilient.
Yeah.
Like you can't get injuries, so you need to build resilience and mental toughness. But it wasn't like mental toughness as we know it, which is different.
There's people like us, and then there's people like David Goggins. It's like the hardcore resilience.
The GB rowing athletes, most professional athletes, most professional athletes' mental toughness and resilience is very different. Yeah. It's a bit more cutthroat, and it's a bit just like grind you down until you feel like nothing and just keep pushing through, which I thought at the time, great. I thought that was how to do things. That was the best way to do things. And I guess like my whole life, I've always had things that just like push me to rock bottom and then I just break through, push me to rock bottom, just break through.
Yeah.
So like, it was just like a repetitive cycle. I started rowing, okay, we'll push to rock bottom, then we'll keep going.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We're aiming for the top here.
So just like keep grinding down and that's just what it was like. It was hustle, like real hustle culture. And that was resilience. That was like always the word. Just build resilience, build resilience, build resilience.
Yeah.
And then when I started doing my healing, it was like, oh, hold on.
Oh, so it doesn't always need to be like that.
You don't always just have to like have trauma and like really grind yourself to feeling like shit, absolute shit, making yourself feel like shit, being so exhausted that you can't get out of bed. But being resilient means that you still get out of bed. No, like that's not.
Listen, you're not in tune with yourself.
Yeah.
I think there's a time and a place for everything, right?
Yes.
So I think some things 100% you need that mindset. However, we're all built differently. And for some people, that just doesn't go, it just doesn't sit right. So for me, like that, I'm just like, no, this is horrible. I don't want to feel like that. Yeah. And actually, for my mental health, that just isn't good. Whereas I know for other people, that is what they need. Like they need that tough resilience. They need David Goggins screaming at them, who's going to fucking carry the boats? Like that, like they need that. Whereas I'm like,
I can't
absolutely
do that
not. I
really can't.
There's people who'll say, so what, you've only had fucking 4 hours sleep. Get up and get your shit together. No. I'm just going to phone in sick and go to my bed.
But like for me now, that for me is resilience. I'm blocking out the outside world and I'm tuning into myself and I'm tuning into my body and I'm listening to me.
Hell yeah.
Which I would have never done before. Yeah. I would have never done that. I would have always felt the pressure to listen to other people. Yeah. And when other people are like, who cares? Like, who cares? Still go on the run. Like, you've booked the gym, you should go to do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, what are you doing? Why are you still calling in sick? Like,
get a grip. Yeah.
Like, just, you're fine.
When actually your body's
so in
screaming
tune with
at
myself,
you. Yeah.
I can be like, blocking you out and I'm listening to myself. My body's my body and my mind is asking for rest. Yep. That is resilience for me.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm going to take a break.
Learning your own inner voice and your own signals like we just said, there is always a time and a place where you do need to push a bit in life, right? If you have ambition, you need to be uncomfortable.
100%.
You need to be able to push. You need to be able to do shit when you just really don't want to do it. You need to get out of your comfort zone, right? That there's always a place for that, because if not, you'll be stagnant.
You'll stay in the same place.
There'll be no ambition. You'll have no drive. So we need that. As it's like, then there's the other side where actually you do need that inner resilience, you could call it. And you get that, I think, from learning yourself, like learning about yourself, which is great for, I don't know, just being a wee bit more gentle with yourself. So yoga obviously helps with that. Meditation, getting to know your thoughts, getting to know yourself. So I would totally agree with you there.
Even then, like listening to, like blocking out the world when you have to push through hard things is the same. So like, we'll use the podcast, for example. Some people think us starting a podcast is silly. Like, who the fuck's going to listen to your podcast?
Yeah.
But it's like, no, we're blocking it out because this is what we really want to do.
Of course.
This is our dream. This is what we want. So
we've got a good why.
Not listening to you.
Yeah.
We'll keep pushing, we'll keep recording, do you know what I mean?
Yep.
No matter how many views we get, we're just going to keep going. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because this is what we want. And I think like sometimes that is, you just need to, that for me is resilience, just blocking out the outside voices and just tuning into myself, because for so many years I didn't do that.
So what do you think really helped you get to that point then? Like, what are things that you've done in everyday life or still do in everyday life?
Yoga really helped.
Yeah,
obviously.
100%. Yeah.
Yoga saves lives.
It does. It really does.
Like, truly it does. Yoga, we'll say it again, the word for the podcast, journaling.
Oh my God, imagine that.
Get a journal, guys. Also, I think I've said it on the podcast before in season 1, but I love to listen to like inspirational stories.
Oh, I love it.
Or even just, you know, on YouTube you get like the little like, I don't know what the word is, but they do like the mixtapes. I don't know.
It's parts of motivational speeches. Yeah, me too.
Like, with it, like
every
Oprah
morning,
and like Michelle Obama,
yes, and
stuff like that.
Strong woman
with like emotional music in the back. Like,
yes,
it's so cheesy.
There's like a lion in the screen.
But like, I sometimes just need that.
Me too.
Just to be like, right, let's go.
Yeah.
Or just watching like an emotional documentary or something where I'm like, okay, be grateful. Yeah. And practicing gratitude.
Going back to that, taking inspiration from others. If they can do it, if they can get through something, then so can I.
Yeah.
Yes, love it. So good.
That's
actually, that is my morning ritual. So now you're saying you go outside and you sit with your cup of tea. Me, I will stick something like that on with my cup of tea in the morning. And William will wake up and he'll be like, we go on the day. And I'm like, well, great though, because
I love it.
The science
it's
behind
come up on my like TikTok. It's like my whole algorithm now is so good. I love it.
It's great. So you can wake up in the morning and choose to fill your head with shite.
Yeah.
The news and all it is tragedy, or your brain, is it like the alpha or beta waves? I might be talking shite. Are more receptive in the morning.
Yeah.
And whatever your brain's like a pure sponge. So you want positivity first thing in the morning. I've said this before. If you have news apps flashing at you as soon as you open your eyes, delete it. Why are you upsetting your brain?
I deleted the news app from my phone.
Oh, same. See, during COVID. Delete.
Why? I can't have it in my life.
No. If you need to know something, you'll find out. If you really need to know.
Someone will tell me.
Yeah.
Someone will, like, there'll be an update somewhere.
Well, so for example, news last night, new Pope elected. I don't have any news on my phone, but you always find out. I'm like, oh, that's great. Good on you, Leo. That's me. Like, as long as you stay like old Pope Francis, we'll be all right. Yeah. But that's like, you will always find out important information. That's it.
Yeah.
So
you're fine.
Yeah, you're all right. Oh. Let us start to just wrap up a wee bit of the deep shit. But what I want to ask is, if you could share one piece of Neilia's wisdom with young Neilia, what would you say? What would it be?
What would it be?
Imagine you've got your journal and you're writing a wee note to your past self. That's quite a nice way to maybe
I like that.
Share it.
I might do that later, actually. Too.
That's a great exercise.
I think what I would say to old self Neilia would be that genuinely everything will be okay. And you will be happier than you've ever been before. And to just, I love that we've just spoken about resilience and pushing to rock bottom and then breaking through. but keep going.
Very fitting.
Like, keep pushing through, because I think there are a lot of times, more times than there should have been, that I really just didn't want to continue at all.
Yeah.
And I think if I could have just known that everything was going to be fine. Yeah. You know, that's all I wanted.
That's always a lovely reminder for yourself. Yeah. So you never know what door's about to open.
I just couldn't see a future. Like, I couldn't see what my future would look like. Yeah. At all.
And the 20s can be hard for that anyway. Minus everything else. I just feel like your 20s are fucking hard, man. So if you are in that stage of your life, it is hard. And I would never want to go back there. And if you would, it's all those things, if I would have known that back then. But we obviously just never had anyone to tell us or guide us. But
then at the same time, I'm really grateful for going through, maybe not everything, because
sometimes you're like, I could have done without that.
Could have done without that. But, you know, I am grateful for everything, because it has led me to this exact point. Yeah. Like, there's no other way that I could have.
There's that question, and this proves what you're just saying. So if you could, you know, wipe away all your trauma, wipe away everything bad that's ever happened to you, but everything, all your memories and all that are gone, would you choose to do it?
No.
Exactly. I don't know anyone that would say yes to that, because in amongst that, there's still always moments of gold. There's always these building character, building strength. There's always beautiful moments and all the shit stuff that's happened to you. And it's like the bittersweet. And it's always that. It's like, you could literally go if you want. There's a wee magic button, but everything's gone. You wouldn't do it.
No, absolutely not. Like, it wouldn't make me the person I am today. You like needed to go through everything. Yeah. And obviously, like, that was the universe's way of being like, these are the tests that you have to go through. You've got it. Yeah. But I think if I had known back then, I really just thought the world was against me. Yeah. You know? Aye. And it is that. I guess parts of it was a bit victim mentality.
Yeah. Which we all go through, especially when you've maybe up until that point, maybe there's been nothing in that scale. So obviously you learn as you get older, and everyone's got their own story, which I just think's lovely. Everyone's got their own trauma. Everyone's got their own shit that's happened to them. Like, unfortunately in life, there's always going to be something. So it's, okay, that's what happened to me. But actually, you know, there's always somebody worse. Yeah. Always like, and you find this through these inspirational videos. You'll get someone who you're like, how the fuck are they still so happy and pushing on with life and positive and inspirational when they've had, you know, the worst thing you can ever imagine. So yeah, it's really nice to hear people's own stories and share stories.
I find that, like, living in Thailand. Oh yeah. You know,
totally different world.
They're the happiest people, and they are the happiest people ever. And some of them have. And I lived there when it was still COVID and post-COVID. So some people really had nothing because there was no tourism, but they're still so happy.
Because their values
are
different.
Yeah, so different to what the people's are over here.
And also now it's great because you've instilled some of those values. And it's just a nicer way of living, isn't it? It really is. Yeah. Very nice. Okay, so a wee bit more fun. Tell us something about, so we're on the subject of Thailand.
Yep.
So tell us about one of your worst experiences in terms of like a job or something like that. So, you know, we've all done jobs that we reflect back on and go, how on earth did I do that? Or, oh my God. So tell us something like a fun experience or something terrible that happened at work, but then actually it's all a big laugh in the end.
God.
Put on the spot. Doesn't need to be Thailand. It could be anything.
Thailand, it was quite funny in Thailand. We went straight into a lockdown. So we were 2 weeks quarantine in a hotel. And then because we worked in boarding, they were like, God. Right, guys, everyone else that didn't work in boarding, they were free to do whatever. But then we were told 2 days before we got out of the hotel, we'd done 2 weeks in a room. And then, albeit it was a very nice hotel room, we are so grateful. However, you two get to that point where you're like, let me out of here. And then 2 days before we were let out, they're like, oh, by the way, boarders, you have to stay in, it was called the boarding sandbox. They're like, by the way, you're going to stay in. You can't leave. You're all going to be in your boarding houses and you can't leave. And we were like, okay, just going to be stuck with the children.
For how long?
They didn't tell us. They said it was going to be a week and then it went to 2 weeks and then it went to... We did eventually, like, we could mix between stuff.
Bubbles, yeah.
I think it was maybe like 4 months or something. But then they did let us out there was like a long weekend and they let us out. They let the staff out. But we had to fill out like a form. Like we had to apply to
leave the bubble.
Yeah.
Oh my God, remember the COVID days going back there, man.
We literally had to
Jesus.
be like, please, can we, not a safeguarding form, but like, I can't even remember the word. I've been out of teaching for so long. Yeah, we had to apply.
Was a lot of your time in Thailand spent in quarantine? Well,
yeah,
is
like,
that what it's called, quarantine?
Maybe like a third of it was in.
Wow, lockdown.
But to be fair, it didn't mean that we had such a good relationship with the kids.
Yeah.
Such good. And those kids needed it because they'd spent so long just like isolated by themselves. Yeah. However, that did bring some behavioural problems. I did have one kid that just smashed a glass door.
God.
It's like, fuck you mother. Fucking hate you. And I was like, cool.
Let me out of here.
Go. Everyone's just staring at me.
God.
No, you don't like me, but it's okay. I'm the one on duty.
So would they not get to see their families then?
No, not for the first few months, no.
God. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. But like it was... Yeah, it was, I mean, I worked in the senior boys boarding house, so I feel like you can maybe imagine this sort of stuff that I had.
God,
and I was the only female member of staff.
My God, no, I would not like that.
And I lived in the boarding house. I lived on the floor with the sixth formers, so the oldest ones. And my goodness,
no, teenage boys, nothing.
Boys. Well, there was one of the boys. So Thailand with their royal family, it's very taboo you can't really talk about them.
Yeah, that's right. There's like pictures of the king everywhere.
Yeah, like you can't talk about them in public.
You
can't make like you don't talk about politics as well. Yeah. That's just like you really don't do that. But there was a couple of the boys that thought it'd be funny to like dress up as the king or something. But the king, when he went to Germany and was like wearing a crop top. There was a whole thing. So then the boys were like, no, we're not dressing up as the king. We're just wearing crop top and skirt. We got it from the shop. And then it like started catching on, loads of the boys did, and then it became a whole thing. And I was like, I can't deal with this. I can't. And then we're like, and all the Thai staff were really offended.
Oh God, you're like, someone's going to phone the police.
Guys, I can't. I think you can absolutely wear whatever you want. Of course you can. I accept whatever you want to wear.
I'm not getting involved in any of this crazy shit though.
I just don't want to be arrested. I just don't.
Like, please, no.
On the top floor where it's just the sixth form boys and me.
Wherever you want.
But don't go anywhere else. Can't be dealing with this. I want to stay and finish my time here. I do not want to be in a Thai prison. And I said that to them. I was like, listen, I get it. I get what you're doing here. Yeah. But I do not want to be in a Thai prison under no circumstances. Just shut the fuck up. Just behave. I was like, selfishly, selfish here. I don't want to be in a Thai prison, so just stop. Just don't do it.
And for anyone listening, it really is that strict in these places.
It really is.
Yeah, it's like,
it really is.
Here we have the freedom of speech. You can say whatever the fuck you want, do whatever you want.
But you do not talk about the king over there. No. It is bad. So when they started doing it, I was like, fuck.
So if you're listening, King of Thailand, we love you.
I promise I was telling the boys not to do that. Yeah, it was God.
Oh, you're like, please, no.
Got pulled over by the police actually in the car because me and the girls and one boy, Leo, we would rent a car and like do little road trips around Thailand.
Nice.
But yeah, you would get pulled over by the police often just because they would like a little extra bit of cash.
A bit of corruption there. Why?
Yeah.
Because you would see you guys were foreign. They'd be like, really? What would they say? Like, just
say nothing. It's just when there's like a way to do it. So like if they can, when it's expats, you kind of know what to do, but when it's tourists, I imagine they fucking panic. Whereas like we got the lowdown from people that have obviously lived there for a while, so we were like, guys, thank God it.
Why are the police much scarier?
That was one of the boys that was with us. He would sit in the back being fucking panicking. We're like, can you just stay
like chill?
It was like me and Katie and George and stuff. We're just like,
okay, take the money, let us go.
And then we drive off and we were like, okay, we're fine.
But it is so much more stressful. I feel like the Spanish police and all that are like just pure scary.
Yeah.
They just stare you down. Whereas here you're like...
The Italian police too.
They're so serious.
They're so serious. So serious. But then they're serious. And then I think it was like a couple of years ago when we were there. So serious. And like they have guns and stuff in Italy. And then they're so serious. And we were at this like jazz festival. It's so cute. At this jazz festival. And then all of a sudden they started just like dancing. And I was like, right, so...
Your host.
Yeah. And then they were like laughing at us and being like, on the spritz. Yeah. So you actually are quite chill. Okay, cool.
Like you just look.
But then they would go back with their like glasses.
So that's a good question actually. What has been your best holiday? Or what is your ideal holiday?
Best holiday. I loved going to Chiang Mai in Thailand. So good. So good. And then I have a favourite holiday with the family when we were younger. We went to Bali. And it was just like me, mum, dad and Anna.
Love that.
And it was so nice. Yeah. You know, when you're like, I was quite young. I think I was maybe like 10 or 11.
Good memories.
But like, I've got the best memories from it. So
Lovely.
Nice. There's just 4 of us for like 2 weeks. So nice.
That is on my bucket list.
Yeah.
Love to go and do a wee bit of yoga there. Like the whole
I really want
stereotypical.
To go back. I really want to go and do yoga.
Yeah. I'm like, it's very Instagrammable, but I just think, what a vibe. Doing so yoga in Bali just looks great.
Just looks amazing. But yeah, that was my favourite one.
Love it.
Mum has a picture of us like on every desk at work.
So nice. Love it.
So cute.
And another fun question just to finish. If you could have your ideal meal right now and drink, what are you having? And I know you had a wee booze last night, so it might be different. Like, sometimes it's hard being asked, like, what's your favourite meal? Here's me, wholesome queen, meditating this morning, and Neilia's hungover.
Thursday night out.
But what if you could have something right now? Someone's going to bring you something. What's it going to be?
I would have. It's obviously going to be Thai food. I don't know if that's obvious, but like Thai food is my favourite food on the planet.
Love.
I'm sorry, Mum. Mum is half Chinese, so I do love Mum's food. However, Thai food is like the most incredible food ever. I would have probably, the way I feel right now, there's a dish called xoxo.
Never
just
had
like
it.
Noodle soup.
Stunning.
But it's like curry noodle soup. It's from the north of Thailand.
It's like a ramen?
Yeah, it's kind of like their version of ramen. It's so good. And then they fry noodles and like crispy noodles.
Wow.
It's the best thing on the planet.
Chef's kiss.
That's like
love a big bowl of ramen.
Katie, and our friend Georgia, like that's what we would have.
So
non-stop.
Cheap when you're there as well. Yeah. Have you found somewhere here that does it as good?
£1. Yeah.
Brilliant.
So if I'm having that, then I'd have it and I'd be in Thailand and I'd just have like
sitting on a beach
with a beer in Thailand. And then
stunning
vibes.
What, like a wee Chang beer or something else?
Yeah.
Love that
stunning
for you.
Vibes.
That sounds great.
Just on the beach, yeah.
Right, we're manifesting it for this chick.
She
wants to be on a beach in Thailand with a bowl of ramen and a wee beer. And you're not asking for much. That sounds sweet. Oh, we have sunset.
Yeah.
The sunset.
There we go. That's all I want.
Right, we're manifesting that for you within the next year. So it's going to happen.
Okay.
You heard it here first.
Get ready, guys.
Well, thanks for allowing everyone to listen to a wee interview.
Thanks,
how did you find it?
That was good.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's good. I wasn't nervous.
And I think being not prepared and
it's
me just
better.
flinging questions at you, it's more natural. Instead of imagining
it's just like us having a chat.
Yeah. Whereas if I was like, here's the questions, you then going over, like we do that all the time. If we try and plan,
I know.
We just wing it.
That's when the episodes go to shit.
As soon as we start adding stress to it, essentially, it's just like,
you just need to trust yourselves and go with the flow.
Yeah, baby.
It's like we've just had a chat, except accessories, and we're far away from each other.
But that was great. Thank you so much.
Love you, hen.
Thank you for sharing your story and some inspiration for people, because I know a lot of that's personal stuff and it can be difficult for people to talk about. So thank you for sharing. And I'm sure a lot of people appreciate it.
are always open as well if anyone has any more questions, because I know that like a lot of people come to classes or events and stuff and ask me some questions about health.
You're an open book.
I am an open book.
And you want to help. So
yeah, feel free to
message me. Yeah. And thanks for listening, guys. Stay tuned for part 2 of this, where it'll be my turn to be in the hot seat.
Get ready.
So thank you. We will speak to you again soon.
See you later.
Bye.